What's up, guys, and welcome to our first ever vlog series lesson. We've had our interview from Irvin Gale. We've had the announcement video that so many of you have made fun of me about. What is a vlog? What is a blog? We'll talk about that later if you still don't know. But let me just say, was that interview between Gale and Irv, was that not awesome? That was amazing. Just them being able to pour out their heart and them being vulnerable about their experiences and their opinions on love. That was really awesome. If you really enjoyed that video, go up to them and say thank you, because they really poured out a lot on that in that interview. I think I'm allergic to bananas.
I'm in love. I'm all shook up.
So today we're going to be diving into Scripture a little bit, and we're going to be looking at 3 particular verses, just 3. And they come from a letter that Paul wrote to the Corinthians. Now, this is probably not his first letter that he wrote. A lot of people think this may be like his second letter that he wrote. And so, in essence, we're about to read someone's mail. This is a passage that a lot of churches use, a lot of weddings use. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 13. If you want to pause me right now, go ahead and grab a Bible and then come back and we'll get started. I'll wait for you to get your Bible. All right, you got it? Good, awesome. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. So let me set up a little context about what's going on. See, the cool thing about it is Paul was writing to this church in this city named Corinth. Now, Corinth is located in southern Greece, and it actually like had a beach. It was a beach, more or less. So you could say it's the Corinthian beach. But the cool thing about it is it was an extremely, extremely big city, and it was filled with different types of people, all kinds of people. There were Romans, there were Greeks, there were people from the Eastern world, there were Jews, there were all types of people in this city known as Corinth. But you know, the cool thing is there was one thing that Corinth dealt with that we have in common with them. They loved to covet. Now, what is coveting? Coveting is when you see something that someone else has and you want it. Or when you want to show people that you have something that's better than everyone else's. People today like to do that. Think about it. When you go to school, when you hang out with your friends, there's times where they're like, look at this new toy that I got. Look at this new game that I have. And you're thinking to yourself, man, I really wish I had that game. Or even sometimes think about this. You may have that new video game or you may have that new toy and you think to yourself, I really want to rub this in. Yeah, you don't have it. I do. And so that is what coveting is. And Corinthians had a horrible problem with coveting. Not only did the Corinthians have this problem of coveting, but they also boasted about who had more or who was more important in the community. And unfortunately, that seeped into the church. You see, Paul built this church from the ground up, and then he left to go to a different area to plant another church. Well, while the church was gone, the outside influences kind of affected the church to the point where the church was doing the same thing. Because back during this day, they didn't meet in a building, they met at people's houses. And so some people would be like, hey, we should come meet at our house because my house is bigger, it's better, it can hold everyone. The acoustics in my house are amazing. So when we worship, when we sing, it's going to sound a lot better than if we go to his house or his little shack. And then to top it all off, they were boasting about who had the best spiritual gift. Now, what are spiritual gifts? Spiritual gifts is something that God gives to you when you become a Christian. When you become a believer, God gives you a spiritual gift. It could be anything. Paul says it could be the gift of prophecy, the gift of teaching, the gift of shepherding, being a pastor, the gift of just encouraging, the gift of having mercy, the gift of speaking in tongues. There's so many different gifts that you could have, but everyone has at least one gift. And so these people were arguing over who has the better gift. Whose gift is more important? Oh, I have the gift of prophecy, so my gift is better than thine. But the fact of the matter is Paul tells them there's no gift better than another. In 1 Corinthians chapter 12, he says that some people have this gift, some people have this gift, some people have this gift. But then in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, starting in verse 1, let's check that out. It's taking me forever. Here we go. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, starting in verse 1. It says, if I speak with the tongues of men and of angels, meaning if he can speak any language in the world, if he can speak all the languages in the world, even like speak to angels, but I do not have love, I have become a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. I'm annoying. Verse 2. If I have the gift of prophecy and know all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so as to move mountains, meaning if he has the gift of seeing, foretelling, if he has the ability to understand everything on earth, like he can sit in a calculus class and he's teaching the class. Like if you have all of these amazing gifts, but you do not have love, he says, I am nothing. Verse 3. And if I give all of my possessions to feed the poor, that's a good thing, right? And if I surrender my body to be burned for the sake of Christ, but I do not have love, it profits me nothing. What's one word that he says over and over and over and over and over? But if I do not have love, I am nothing. You see, what Paul is saying here is he's saying, Corinthians, stop comparing yourself. Stop comparing yourself to other people based off of what you have and what they have. Because when you compare yourself to other people, you can't love them for who they are. So the first part of our love series this month, I want us to do something together, middle schoolers. And that is this. This is the challenge. I want you to stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop comparing yourself. Stop comparing yourself to your friends because they're taller than you are or they're thinner than you are. Stop comparing yourself to other friends because they're smarter than you or maybe because they're not as smart as you. Stop comparing yourself to other people so you can start to love them the way Jesus loved them. And this is what Paul is saying to the Corinthians. He's saying, you guys don't have love because you continually compare yourself to one another. And all that comparing is doing is causing envy and hatred and strife. And so with that being said, this is a challenge for us just as much as it is for the Corinthians. Paul is saying, stop comparing yourself. Stop saying that I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Because when you don't have love, there's nothing. When you don't have love, we're nothing. So I hope this has been really encouraging to you. And I want to challenge you guys. And I want to encourage you guys this week to pick out some people that you love. Pick out people that you just care about so much. Your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, a grandparent, or maybe just a really, really good friend. Pick out one or two people. Then pick out one or two people that you don't like so much. Pick out those people as well. Now, the hard part is going to be loving someone you don't really like. And if you can't really do something for someone, then maybe encourage them. Maybe go to that person and say, I really admire blank about you. Fill in the blank there. I really like this about you. Or you're really cool because blank. Just encourage someone. And so I want to challenge you guys to do that this week. And when we meet up, we're going to talk about it. And we're going to talk about what happened and did it work? Did it not work? And if your perspective on other people have changed any. I'll see you guys next week.